All right, so I created a new document, and this document is called drawings. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. You can do a couple of different things in terms of stuff that you have already created through Onshape. If you want to create some drawing or drawing files uh, based on those parts that you created, you can absolutely do that within the program. So on the bottom left-hand corner, those two tabs that you see there, they basically have Assembly 1 and Part Studio 1. Right, Part Studio 1 would be you want to create some sort of parts related to this document or a brand new parts. You may not want to do that. You may want to create um, other files, drawing files related to this document. Oh, you know what? Actually, will it let me do this within this document? I don't think it will. But what I can do, well, I guess I can show you. What I can do is I can click the little plus sign at the top left, on the bottom left-hand corner, and click import. This allows me to import something from my computer if I wanted to. Will that be too? No, you know what? That'll be too annoying. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be extra work. So I'm gonna go back and go to one of my drawings that I've done. Let's go with patterns, just to show you guys kind of like the different things that we could do. So that patterns project that I explained to you a while back, basically what it is, it's like a Lego brick. As you can see when I turn it around, it's basically just a rectangle with the studs. There are 4 studs there. And you could also hollow this out from the back if you really wanted to. Let's say, for example, that I want to do that and I want to shell this just to make it look a little more to what a Lego brick would look like. 0.1 inch, sure, why not? Whatever, doesn't matter. And then obviously you can make the circles there in the middle. That's not the point. Anyways, the point is that we have this part. So on Onshape, if you wanted to create drawings of your actual part, for example, let's say I want to send this to somewhere else, to like a different country to manufacture it, or maybe a different state to manufacture it, or even somewhere within the city, but they need to know the specifications. You can click the bottom left-hand corner and create multiple things. One of those things that you can create are actual drawing files. So you press a little plus sign at the bottom left-hand corner. You have the options of create part studio, which is a part, create assembly, which is putting things together. And the last one that I have yet to explain to you is to create a drawing. So we're going to select create drawing this time. You will get this screen. Let me move this out of the way. You will get this screen. So basically what the screen is asking, it's asking, well, what type of sheet, how big do you want the sheet to be for your drawing file? So in engineering and architecture, basically there's different size papers, right? So you could have a paper size A, which is basically like a regular sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. You can have size B, which is a little bigger than that, size C, size D, which will be like something for like the schematics for like a big project or like a building, etc. So the bigger the letter, or like the more you go down deeper into the alphabet, the bigger the size of the paper is for you to create these sketches. For our purposes, I'm going to keep it a size A, which is just a regular 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and select OK. Now what that does is it actually pulls up a different screen. So this screen now, you can see that you have a bunch of different options at the bottom. Let me go ahead and zoom it in so you can see. It already pre-filled out. Let's get this thing out of the way. It pre-filled out who I was, because obviously I'm using the Onshape account. So it says drawn by me, George Nunez. Date right now, it's 5/5/2021. You have your checked, approved, surface finish. If you add additional components to your part, it'll actually add that information right there within the drawing file. So hopefully you could see it. There we go. So you have a bunch of different projections. You can have the size of the paper. You can have the scale. If you actually add other things within your shape, for example, if you say that it's made out of copper, or it's made out of aluminum, or it's made out of plastic, certain types of plastic, or it's made out of wood or whatever, you could add those property materials, or those material properties, and it'll actually populate the weights for it, sometimes even like the density, what material it is, the finish, whether it's something that's rough or something that's smooth, etc. So a bunch of other different things that we can do within the program. that you may not have known about that you're going to need to know how to do for your project. I'm not going to go as deep into like putting textures and um, material properties and all that as of yet. I just want you guys to understand that you actually can create drawings within Onshape. Okay, so on the left hand side, now you'll see that it says insert. If I click on insert, it'll allow me to put some parts in that I want. So I have a bunch of different things that I can put in. Let's see. So on the left hand side, I have the parts that I created so far. Part Studio 1, 2, 3. Let's say I want to pick Part Studio 2, right? So Part Studio 2 would be the Lego brick. So on the left hand side, you'll see that I selected that as what I want to sketch. The orientation, it says front. The view scale is 1:2, meaning like it's twice as big as what I drew it, just so it can fit on the paper. And then view simplification is automatic. So all I'm doing right now is clicking with the left mouse. I'm going to click the front view, which obviously from last semester, you should know that goes in the bottom left-hand corner. This is the front view of this Lego brick, but I'm not done there. If I hover my mouse upwards a little bit, you can see that now it's projecting the top view, and I can't move it to the left or to the right. It actually sticks right on it. That's why I was being so strict about like, hey, make sure your drawings align. So now if I go directly above that, I'm projecting my top view for this part. All I did was lift up my mouse and then click again. Now if I hover to the right side, it's not doing it, but it should. Oh, I think I needed to click again. So I clicked on the front view and then I hovered to the right side, and now it's projecting my right side view. But that's not all. Let's say I want to project my isometric view as well. I can click on the front face and I can go up and to the right to be able to get my isometric view for that part. So now I can fully sketch the part, and notice that all I'm doing is clicking. I already created this on Onshape. I already drew it, so it's not a matter of reinventing the wheel. But it is a matter of knowing how to create these drawings and knowing how to properly dimension it. Okay. The next thing that we learn how to do is to be able to create proper dimensions, meaning like all the dimensions should go between the parts so that they can be shared within the multiple views. So the top and the front view can be shared right here within these dimensions. The front and the side view can be shared right here. There should be a dimension tool on the top right-hand corner as well. It looks very similar to the one you talked about, or sorry, it's more towards the middle left. Same one as what we used through modeling. So it's a little arrows with the two extension lines at the end. So click on that. The great thing is that you already did this on Onshape, so you don't have to basically type in any numbers. It already knows how much everything is through the Onshape software. So if I click the left side and the right side, let's say, for example, I want to dimension from that line to this line. I have to click both, and I got to extend it out away from the part. Okay. The other thing that I could do is I could dimension the location of the center of that circle. Okay, that gives me the diameter. Okay, let's do that. No big deal. So I can get one of the circles.
You have to re-click it again on top. You have to re-click the thingy, Mr. Nunez.
What thing are you talking about?
The thing to, how do you say it?
Oh, the dimension tool. Thank you. Yes,
yeah.
got it. Thank you. There you go. So that gives me the 0.447 as my diameter of the circle, which, you know, that's something that you need. You also might want to know the location of these circles. So did it take me out? Okay, I'm still in. So you could always, by the way, zoom it in. If I want to find where that center is, I can hover over, find the center point. From the center to the edge, that'll tell me that it's 0.587. I could also hover from the center point to the bottom and then hover over that to the left side. And that tells me that that center point, it's 0.465. So now I have the location, oops, went too far. Now I have the location of my cylinder pretty much, how much it sticks, you know, basically from the corner, how much it sticks out. All right. What else do we need? So the other things that we might need are the how much does that cylinder actually stick out of the page, right? So I could do that on the left-hand side. And how tall is this from the bottom to the top? So I can do this from the bottom to the top. So click the bottom, click the top. I can see that this dimension is 2 inches exactly. Okay. The other thing we might need is the thickness. We could do that on the right side, or we can do that on the top. I can say that from the top to the bottom of this part, this is going to be 1 inch. I could also say that from that line to where the cylinder sticks out, oops, it didn't like that one. Let me try it again. Ugh. If it's giving you trouble, you could always zoom in and it'll like it once you zoom in. Okay, let's try again. By the way, the reason why it kicked me out of the dimensioning tool is because I use the escape key. If you click the escape key at the top left-hand corner of your mouse, sorry, of your keyboard, it'll get out of everything you're in. So I hit escape, and therefore it took me out of dimensioning. So there we go. So now I have 0.3, which is how much that is going to stick out of the part. Okay. The other thing that I might need, let's see, what am I missing? I think that pretty much covers most of it. I may need to know. Oh yeah. So I may need to know maybe from the edge to the front, how much does this stick out? I don't know if you absolutely need this, but if you wanted to, you can say this is 0.19 from the edge to that part. And I believe that's all you need. So now that you fully dimension the part, you have your multi-view drawing. You can take this and you can send it anywhere for manufacturing purposes. And they'll be able to manufacture the part according to the specifications that you give. Make sure you remember the dimensioning guidelines. By the way, that means that you need to make sure to try to include proper dimensioning. I left those up there, I believe, so you guys can look and reference those also. But try to include proper dimensioning so that everything is in the middle between two parts, and so that everything is properly dimensioned so that it's not cluttered, etc. Okay, so now let's say we want to include something else within our drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of dimensioning now. If I right click on a piece or a part, and I go ahead and select the third option, which says show shaded view, it'll actually show me the shaded view of that part, the same exact colors that I have it within Onshape. I could do that for this one part. I could do it for all of them if I really wanted to, or I could leave it in black and white. Most of the time, we leave it in black and white when we're actually, giving this to somebody, because they would be able to see it clearly once they print it. A lot of times, printers sometimes are just black and white anyway, so it makes it a little more annoying to have to figure out what dimensions they are if it's not in black and white. But you have that option available to you, especially now that we're doing stuff electronically, so you could actually include the original colors of that part. Okay, one more thing that I want to show you. I'm gonna stop this video right here because I think it's a little